Hey everyone, I'm Carson Adlock, and welcome to a Tuesday tip. Today's tip is to shoot shadow side. What the heck does that mean? Let's get into it. So let's look at this picture of Alex, okay? And this is one of my really well-lit scenes. I love that lighting setup. I even have the setup now, but that's besides the point. So, this picture of Alex, if you look at it, notice that on one side of his face, it's darker. That his face is almost split in half. Not really, but there is a side of his face that is darker than the other. And that darker side is considered the shadow side. Now, that shadow side or that darker side should actually be in your image, because if you don't have that shadow side or that darker side, it looks unnatural. Because if you just have light blaring on your face and there's no shadows, that doesn't look real, because in real life we always have shadows on our face. And so that's another thing, is to make sure that you have those shadows when you're shooting. But besides that point, that darker side of Alex's face is considered the shadow side. And so in any of your films, and even go watch any other film, and you'll notice that they shoot shadow side. So that means that the camera is at least slightly to the shadow side, or it's on that side of their face. And so when you're doing it, to get the most cinematic film, not video, it's a film, that you've ever made, make sure that you guys are putting that camera to the shadow side. Now, what if you're doing like a straight on shot like this one is now? Well, you may be like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. You can actually move the camera so slightly that when you first look at it, it looks straight on, but it's actually not. But move it a tiny slight centimeter over to that shadow side, and it will make a huge difference. Now, you may not see that difference, but it eases our eyes more when we're on that shadow side. And so make sure that in your next project, you guys, even if it's only that tiny bit of movement, or even if it's clear on that side, make sure you guys are always shooting shadow side. I also want to challenge you guys, go watch any movie and you'll notice that they almost always shoot shadow side. Almost always. A lot of times I have seen that they don't, for multiple reasons, whether it's to portray a message or to not, but or to keep the 180-degree rule, or just something. But make sure that you guys start shooting shadow side if you haven't before.